people live in condos or homes somewhat similar to the one that collapsed in Surfside, Florida. I did a little digging around, talked with a source who's on scene down there in Surfside, and they tell me that the collapse was most likely the result of years of ocean salt blowing onto concrete and eating away at it. It's a problem that can be fixed, I'm told, but it's very expensive, and it's likely that every high rise along the ocean is going to need tedious inspections to make sure that they're structurally sound. It's all bad news for the housing market as owners of some of the previously most desired locations wonder if they should sell or if they even can sell. Joining us to talk about the real estate market in Florida and how it impacts us here in Michigan is Michael Perna. Michael, how are you?
I'm fantastic, and good morning, and thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Obviously, the tragedy is still going on down there in Surfside, and our thoughts and prayers are with the families impacted by that terrible tragedy. But it is quite interesting what is happening as a result of that, as it pertains to other condos in the area and real estate. What are you seeing?
Well, and it is, and our prayers are with the families as well. And I do suggest that these condo associations take this as a dire warning. What I'm seeing right now is some buyers, mainly along the coastals, are getting a little bit leery of some of the older buildings. Having conversations with some of my partners, my real estate, my referral partners across the country. Some of them have started pulling back from buildings that are 25 or 30 years old and older, opting for either newer buildings and willing to spend a little bit more, or opting for something like a single family home or a one or two story condo. Here in Michigan, it really hasn't affected us and too much. We don't have a ton of high rises. Downtown Detroit has a few. Southfield has a few. But our buyers are still going strong. They recognize the issues with the salt water blowing against the concrete versus our fresh water here in Michigan, which is good.
Yes, for sure. And obviously, everybody who lives in a high rise anywhere, probably in the country, is making phone calls to try and find out, what the how structurally sound is their building. When was the last inspection? We're seeing things from Surfside where there were reports of structural problems that probably should have been attended to. What kind of impact does that have? More from the mental side of things when people are deciding, where they're going to get their retirement home or their permanent homes.
Well, I think where the impact is coming in is some of the people are, again, and some of our clients that are moving from here to a coastal like a Florida or even a Georgia or a Texas. They're starting to say things like, and I don't want to be in a high rise condo, or and I want something where it's a one or a two or a three-story versus a 25 or a 30-story building. So we're seeing that impact on people that are moving out of Michigan or like snowbirds, vacationers. Here locally, we're not seeing a big impact. Again, a lot of our buildings are newer renovated in Metro Detroit, which is great. And we don't necessarily have the same issues as some of the coastal towns do.
So if people decide they don't want to buy in those older high rises, and if people who are living in those older high rises decide they don't want to live there either, they want to move out, what's going to happen to those property values? How severely reduced could we see those become?
Well, and here in Southeast Michigan, I could see it being reduced as much as 5 or 10%. But honestly, not a heck of a lot more than that because we've got an extremely robust real estate market, extremely robust employment market. Demand for housing is still extremely high. So there might be some impact, but I don't think it's going to be a major 15 or 20% impact. Nothing like we saw in the last down market.
Well, in Florida's market is red hot. After the pandemic, people were moving from New York, Michigan, other states that wanted more openness, which Florida was offering. And everything we've seen out of Florida is that just had a surge of people coming down to Florida, and their real estate prices have been going way up. So this would be just a blip in their overall real estate market, I imagine.
Agreed. And I think honestly, we're going to get a good handle on this over the next 12 months. I think we're going to see, a lot of the associations start doing some assessments and putting money into the foundation work that they should have been doing all along. I think we're going to see this really catch up over the next year and then not be a concern after that.
Yeah, so our confidence will come back once this investigation is complete, and then other landlords or tenants or condo associations show residents the work that needed to be done and that it was done, and the market will correct itself.
Well, and that's the truth. And with the inflation rates that's staying high, and we just saw that report come out, I think the Fed's going to keep the interest rates low, which are extremely low now, which is just continuing to push buyers into the market, saying, hey, if not now, then when? We're never going to see this opportunity again. So I think we're going to see this
Well,
more as a blip, not a permanent.
While I got you on the phone, what is going on with this Michigan market? It seems like everyone I talk to, the houses are being sold within hours of going, being presented in multiple different neighborhoods.
Yes, and honestly, that's the truth. And we've had multiple instances now, just over the last 30 days, where we've gotten several offers on a property before showings have even started. And that's just the market that we're in right now. I'm hoping that's going to start loosening up a little bit in the second half of summer as people that need to be somewhere for school, they've gotten to where they're going to be. So I think this fall is probably going to be a great opportunity for buyers to take advantage of maybe a slight slowdown. It's still going to be red hot, but a slight slowdown and be able to get into those homes they couldn't get into a few months ago.
And this was going on before the pandemic. The pandemic just probably made even more people want to have a place to call their own. But this has been going on for some time here.
Absolutely. No, we've been in a red hot market since about 2017 here in Michigan because our employment situation is fantastic. And when the pandemic hit, one of the ways the Fed, one of the levers they used to try to push the economy in the right direction was lowering interest rates a full point and a half. And it had a great effect on businesses, but an even better effect on real estate. Buyers are
Yeah,
buying. They're taking advantage
yeah,
of it.
I've talked to people who've said, "Boy, I really this is the time to sell. I can really make a nice profit compared to what I bought my house for." But the problem is, where are they going to go? They're going to spend their money wherever they end up moving to.
No, and you're right about that. And in a lot of cases, we're working with sellers on bridge loans, especially right now. There are a couple of great products out there where it is taking us a month or two for the right property for that seller to come on the market to buy. And then we're putting their home on the market. And we've got it ready. We've got it staged. We've got it photographed. We've got it videoed. We've got the 3D tours, and everything's ready to go to avoid that double payment situation. But we are trying to find their next property first.
All right, real estate agent Michael Perna, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Enjoy the day.
People live in condos.